work the plank. Oh, we have a creative one, I see.
The hitchhiker's thumb will be remembered forever.